3 years ago, I bought a cheap metal bed frame. It squeaked every time I breathed, scratched my hardwood floors, and eventually collapsed on a Tuesday night. Never again. When you finally decide to invest in a real, adult piece of furniture, you realize the market is flooded with identical-looking platform beds. Today, we are looking at two of the heavyweights in the premium minimalist space, the Thuma bed and the Avocado City Bed. One uses clever engineering, the other uses brute force quality. Which one actually deserves your money? Let me explain. The core philosophy. Both of these beds target the exact same person. You want something clean, you want a low profile, and you absolutely refuse to spend a Saturday afternoon turning a tiny wrench while losing your mind over confusing instructions. They both promise a squeak-free, incredibly sturdy platform that ships directly in boxes to your front door. But their approaches to achieving this goal are fundamentally different. Thuma relies on upcycled wood and clever design to create an accessible luxury product. Avocado leans entirely on raw material quality and domestic manufacturing. Understanding this difference is the key to figuring out which bed belongs in your bedroom. It is about how the product is made, where it comes from, and what you value as a buyer. Materials and sourcing. Thuma uses repurposed rubberwood sourced from Asia. Rubberwood is a very common material in modern furniture making because it is stable and relatively inexpensive to source. Because they use smaller pieces of wood glued together to form the large side rails and legs, Thuma applies different colored stains to make the bed look like a solid piece of premium walnut or espresso. It looks great from a few feet away, but it is an illusion. Avocado takes a completely different path. The city bed is built from genuine solid birch or solid walnut sourced directly from forests in North America. There are absolutely no stains involved here. Avocado simply applies a clear varnish that contains zero volatile organic compounds. What you see is exactly what you get. You see the real wood grain, the natural color variations, and the true character of the timber. If you buy the walnut version, you are getting an incredibly dense, heavy, premium hardwood. Bottom line, avocado easily wins on raw material quality. The joinery and assembly experience. Both companies use traditional Japanese joinery. This means the wooden rails simply slot into the legs using precise cuts and the force of gravity. You do not need a single screw, bolt, or specialized tool to put the main frame together. You literally just drop the pieces into place. Thuma popularized this specific mechanism in the direct-to-consumer market. The pieces slide together beautifully, and one person can easily set the whole thing up in about 10 minutes. It is completely stress-free. Avocado saw this trend and adopted a very similar tool-free design for the city bed. Because the avocado frame uses solid hardwood, the pieces are noticeably heavier. You might want a second person just to help lift the boxes into the bedroom, but the actual assembly logic is just as straightforward. When you eventually move to a new house, you just lift the rails straight out of the legs and pack them up. No stripped screws and no missing metal parts. Aesthetics and headboard options. Both beds share a modern minimalist platform look, but the finer details change the vibe of the room. Thuma has clean, straight geometric lines. It is famous for its pillow board, which is basically a firm, fabric-covered cushion. The pillow board does not physically attach to the frame. It just sits on the back of the bed, sandwiched tightly between your mattress and the wall. It creates a very relaxed, casual look that works well in modern spaces. If you prefer wood, Thuma now offers a solid headboard attachment for an extra cost. Avocado takes a softer, more refined approach to the actual frame. The city bed features gently rounded edges and corners everywhere. If you have ever hit your shin on the sharp corner of a bed frame in the middle of the night, you will deeply appreciate this specific design choice. Avocado sells the City Bed as a standalone platform, but you can buy a matching solid wood headboard to complete the look. Because it is made of solid walnut or birch, adding that headboard increases the total cost significantly. The overall look of the Avocado is slightly more traditional, while the Thuma feels a bit more modern and low profile. Durability and sleep experience. When you spend this much money on furniture, the bed needs to feel like a concrete slab. You do not want any side-to-side movement, creaking, or noise when you roll over. Both beds deliver exceptional stability entirely thanks to that Japanese joinery. The joints actually get tighter and more secure as you put weight on them. The Thuma bed uses a system of cushion-coated wooden slats. They roll out horizontally over the frame and provide excellent support for the mattress while actively dampening any potential noise. Owners consistently report that the Thuma is dead silent even after years of daily use. The Avocado City Bed is built like an absolute tank. The thick solid wood construction gives it a massive weight capacity. It feels incredibly grounded. The slats on the Avocado are wide and completely unyielding. Whether you have a heavy hybrid spring mattress or a densely packed solid latex setup, the City Bed handles the weight effortlessly. Both beds completely eliminate the need for a traditional box spring, providing a perfectly flat and supportive foundation. You will sleep incredibly well on either one, but the sheer density of the Avocado gives it a slight edge in pure structural confidence. Sustainability and certifications. If environmental impact matters to you, both brands have a genuinely strong story to tell. Thuma uses upcycled rubber wood, which means they are taking trees that have already reached the end of their natural latex, producing life and turning them into functional furniture. This actively prevents waste. They also use recycled plastics for the protective felt padding and hold a GreenGuard Gold certification for low chemical emissions. However, Avocado operates on an entirely different level of environmental focus. Their primary manufacturing factory in Los Angeles is certified as a zero-waste facility. The wood they use is strictly certified by the Forest Stewardship Council, ensuring highly responsible forestry practices. The frame holds GreenGuard Gold and specific climate label certifications. They actively measure and offset their entire carbon footprint. Avocado built its entire brand identity around extreme environmental responsibility, and the City Bed is a perfect physical reflection of that corporate commitment. If you want the most eco-friendly option possible, Avocado is the undeniable winner. Pricing and value. This is where the final decision usually gets made. The Thuma bed is priced at a premium for direct-to-consumer furniture, but it remains relatively accessible for most buyers upgrading their bedroom. A standard queen-size Thuma frame will cost you around $1,200. That price completely includes the signature pillow board. It is a very fair asking price for the clever engineering, the clean aesthetic, and the extreme ease of use. You also get a lifetime warranty covering defects and a 100-night sleep trial. The Avocado City Bed is significantly more expensive. The baseline birch model in a queen size starts around $1,300, but that does not include any headboard at all. If you want the beautiful solid walnut version with the matching wooden headboard, you are looking at spending nearly $3,000. That is a massive price jump. You are paying a heavy premium for American domestic manufacturing, absolute top-tier solid wood materials, and rigorous environmental certifications. You have to decide if that solid wood construction justifies paying more than double the price of the Thuma. The final verdict. So, which one should you actually buy? If you want a beautiful, highly functional bed that sets up in minutes and looks fantastic in a modern apartment by the Thuma. It hits the absolute sweet spot of price, thoughtful design, and practical convenience. It is wildly popular for a very good reason. It solves the assembly problem perfectly while looking great. But if you view furniture as a permanent, lifetime investment, go with the Avocado City Bed. Yes, it costs a lot more money up front, but solid walnut furniture is something you can realistically keep for decades. The material will not degrade, it looks stunning up close, and those rounded edges are a brilliant practical touch. If you have the budget and deeply appreciate raw material quality over stained engineered wood, the Avocado City Bed is the superior piece of furniture. It is an heirloom piece hiding behind a modern aesthetic.